One is Gremlin and the other one is Chaos Mesh. So we will see how we set up Gremlin.
This conference will now.
Yeah, so let's start. Hello everyone and welcome to day one demo of Chaos Engineering course. So just to get an understanding, okay, so how many of you are hearing chaos engineering for, like, I meant, like, there is zero background about chaos engineering. Whoever have zero background, just put yes in the chat. Just need to understand the audience so that we get a better understanding. Yeah, Priyanka, okay, Deepa, Snehal, anyone else? And if anyone already know, okay, about chaos engineering and they have an idea, just put the tool which maybe you are used, or like if it's only basics which you know, just put that, like basic or the tool name, right? What you know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Nagaraj. Yeah. Okay, right. So pretty much, I what I will take is like, we have an audience, we have a mix of audience here. So who are very new, who are a little bit aware about things, but maybe the fundamentals are not that clear, right? So we will, so yeah. So let's dive in deeper. So see, now in this course, first of all, we will try to understand what is chaos engineering, because when nowadays the market is very much looking into people who can perform chaos engineering, but still many are not clear what is the outcome, right? What are we expecting out of chaos engineering? Like, okay, you perform the activities, you perform the experiments, or like, you perform chaos engineering on a system, but what is the outcome out of it, or what are the objectives you are looking for? How do you create a report, or how do you run an experiment? That was also right. So this course is designed in such a way that you get an idea from planning to execution to analysis to reporting, so everything from end to end, right, perspective. Do is we will be doing every step as a hands on. So we'll be setting up the system, configuring was, there are a lot of updates which have happened. So if you see, before 2 months or 3 months, I can say there is a versional change in Gremlin. So there's a major change, like there are new lot of new options which have arrived in Gremlin. So things have changed, right? So we need to see that, we need to understand that, also accommodate those changes into our systems, how we configure it, right? So we will learn all this. So let's see how we'll be proceeding. Okay.
Vishnu, sorry to stop you. Uh,
Yeah,
I
Raja.
think your voice is low. I think I'm on full volume. Is it with only me or everyone?
Is it too low?
Yeah, no, this is better now. This is much better.
Oh, okay. Maybe my mic. Is it better now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was struggling to hear you. Now it is better. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah. What about others? Anyone facing any issue in my voice? Please call it out as and when, so that we don't lose anything. I hope it's better, right? All of you. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. So first of all, I'll put, let's say, planning. Then let's say we have, next we have execution, or we can say setup. So I will just put test, experiment, setup. So see, in chaos engineering we always use the word experiments, and I'll explain you why we don't use the word test. Okay, everything will be covered. So just for now I'll put experiment setup. Then let's say we have execution, and I'll put analysis. So let's put analysis now. And obviously, now in this world, this is a most common one. It's automation. Okay, so these are the things which we need to understand as an end to end perspective. Okay, so now to understand the planning, right? In this stage, in this planning stage, we will try to understand, so what is chaos engineering, what do we do in chaos engineering, what are the limitations, what are the prerequisites, how you set up, like what are the different tools available in chaos engineering. So all those things we will cover in the planning stage. Now, when we go to the experiment setup stage, we will, like in this course, we are seeing two tools, as I said, right? One is Gremlin and the other one is Chaos Mesh. So we will see how we set up Gremlin, how we set up Chaos Mesh in our environment, right? Now, in this process, so the environment which we are using here is actually a Kubernetes based setup, right? So if you see here, so this whatever I'm doing here, all you will do as a hands-on. Okay, nothing will be there which you won't do. Now in this, only thing what is not there, so this is a whole setup for our like we can say the application setup. Now over to this we will deploy Gremlin and we will deploy Chaos Mesh and do different experiments on the application. So our application is now running on our Kubernetes cluster on different pods. So our application is a microservice based application on which we will be running the experiments, and we will try to infer different things, or we will try to observe different things when we are running the experiments, right? So this is how the things will be. Even we will be deploying Jenkins, we will be using monitoring tools like Prometheus and Grafana. We will try to understand how the auto scaling setup, how to do experiments on an auto scaling setup, that also we will see. So different experiments we will be performing. Okay, so in that process, so not only Gremlin and Chaos Mesh, you will also learn different things like what are Kubernetes, what are Dockers, what are containers, or how do you debug Kubernetes setup, how do you pull out the logs, right, when you're running the experiment. How What are the key things which you need to look into when you're running chaos engineering experiments, how to set up alerts or signals, right? So all those things you will be learning. And as I said, this course is mainly modeled for those who are into no, NFT, or like let's say even who are into testing. So they are not that experts in coding, right? So this course is devised in such a way that it's a no code. Like you don't need to know like lot of coding here. Only thing is there are some commands which I will be teaching you, and you just need to run it. So whichever environment, whatever you are in, that commands will still remain same. Okay, so those things we will try to see how to execute it, what are the prerequisites, how to set up, and all those. That there are a lot of changes which keep happening with respect to time also. So what I generally do is I keep updating my course structure also, or maybe we can say the way we deploy the application and all, as the things as the deployment methods change or the code methods change, right? So you will get all of the ideas as we progress. Now, in the execution, we will see how to execute scenarios, how to execute your tests in non-GUI, GUI modes, and all experiments, and how do you how do you what are different experiments which you can run on a system, how to identify that, right? Because see, as I said at the beginning itself, unless you don't identify what are the experiments what that you will do, and what are the outcomes which you will get by running those experiments, right? Without that, there's no use in performing the experiments. So we will be sorry so we'll also be seeing that, right, like how to perform the experiments, what are the outcomes expected in each of the experiments, and even analysis what all you can do when you are performing the experiments. So those things we will see. Then obviously automation we will see. We will use a famous tool called Jenkins to automate our chaos experiment and to run an experiment using a Jenkins pipeline. Okay, so that will be the final part of the automation. And then basically what we will do is we will also look into different opportunities, right? what chaos engineering puts into. Now if you see the market, mainly the people who are into NFT, non-functional testing domains, they have a lot of opportunity in chaos engineering. So let's say you are into performance engineering, or let's say you are into performance testing or some other non-functional testing domains. There are a lot of opportunities where they're looking like the market is looking into people who have chaos engineering domain knowledge also. But soon the like no, soon we are also seeing different organizations applying a good amount of resources into developing chaos engineering in their pipeline, right? So soon the opportunities will increase, and chaos engineering is going to be in the mainstream of software development life cycle, though it's not directly now, but down the line, maybe 6 months, it will become the mainstream of chaos engineering. And that time, it's better to be ready before like when the market is hot, you need to be ready, right, with that domain. But let's say if you plan it for that time, and you cannot be ready in a month, or because you need to practice things. So better to be ready now. So as an opportunity perspective, it's confirmed that this domain will grow. And also we are seeing it. If you see different domains, and different my friends who are in the industry, big organizations, like if you call out who are in the top, even the top five, right, the organizations in the world, they are introducing chaos engineering into their practices and domains slowly, application wise. Okay. And they have also allocated good amount of capex into upskilling their resources in chaos engineering. So yes, it is coming into the mainstream soon. Okay. Yeah, any questions, anyone, till now?
Hi Vishnu, Rashekar here.
Yeah, Raja.
I think yeah. Personally, my ultimate goal is to go for SRE role.
Yeah,
So
Raja.
I think that this would be a good foundation for the next level as an SRE, correct?
Yeah, yes. So as I said, SRE is a role with only chaos engineering. You cannot complete it. You need to
Yeah, yeah,
get an understanding. Yeah, you need to get an understanding, little bit of cloud processes, or we can say little bit. You can do some certification, some architect certification, like solutions architect or something like that.
right.
So, and also you need to little bit maybe get little proficiency in one of some development languages, maybe some Python or Java, whichever you feel comfortable, right? So that way you will complete that whole sauce of SRE. So it's more sort of
Right, got it.
chaos engineering is one out of that sauce. Yeah.
And one more thing is when you were explaining that we'll be doing experiments, installing all this in Kubernetes
Hmm.
cluster.
Yes.
Do you have any idea of demonstrating this on AWS EKS cluster, or is it only on a native Linux machine?
EKS I'm not doing. The reason behind that is a cost, right? Like everyone cannot afford that, because in the free trial also it's not easy to set up an EKS. They have to like you'll have to pay some amount. So we are
Yeah,
not
my
doing
intention.
that. But, yeah,
My intention is some of the clients are deploying the applications on the
mm,
cloud. So
correct.
we want to have our application on the cloud as well as Gremlin agent and do the
Mm.
experiments instead of
Yeah.
on-premise machine. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right. So AWS, what I will be doing is I will be going through the AWS account, though that whatever I will be showing, you might not be able to do hands-on, because if someone is interested, they can create an account in AWS. Maybe you will have to just shell some few, maybe $10-20 only, not more than that. If someone is interested really to keen on whatever I'm showing to do hands-on, but whatever we'll be doing, so see, there is a division between cloud and non-cloud. So after that, whatever we'll be doing is common for both. Whether it's on cloud or non-cloud, it doesn't matter. Things will remain same, whether it's on cloud or not cloud. So that point, like till where the cloud you might need some knowledge, that I will be covering. Okay, as though you, as I said, you might have to create some free trial account and all. Uh, but that's the only part which I think there's a
Yeah,
choice
yeah,
for you
correct.
whether to do.
Yeah, I support
But
you on that. I was just wondering if it's the only difference between the cloud and native would be only our command, like, we don't use Minikube on the cloud and we use
correct.
Minikube here. Yeah.
Yes, right.
All right.
So
Okay, we discussed that as we progress.
right, right, yeah. Any other questions? Sumit, Nagraj, Priyanka, would you, Krishna, Arti, Deepa, Shraddha, Murli, Rahul, Muthu? Yeah. Okay, Nagraj. Yeah, Krishna.
Which actually we don't have like in the performance testing, right? We don't have the client don't know the SLAs and all. Here the same whatever there. For example, in our organization, we have one client is there. What are the steps we are proceeding for that chaos engineering?
Yeah.
Because we
So see,
have
chaos
already
engineering is a new domain compared to performance. Actually, it is very new, right? So if you see, there will be clients who might be giving you the whole role. It's not that they will help you in something. Even planning also you might have to do, right? So that's why if you see in our course, we have a
bec-
section where we are understanding the planning stage. So where we will create the test plan, right, or the experiment plan, and in that process we will learn how to identify the SLAs, how do we create the test plan. So and also in chaos engineering, we more than SLAs we have something called SLIs, SLOs and all, which we will see, we'll try to understand. Yeah, that's a very
okay,
good question Krishna asked, because yeah, this is the problem which everyone faces when especially when they speak to the client, they don't have the SLAs and we will have to prepare it. But yes, uh, that problem will be there in chaos. It's not that we will not have that, but we will solve it by understanding how to do it.
okay. Because
Yeah,
last week we were giving the demo for one of our organization, one of the client. They are
yeah.
asking for what are the experiment, and then they are asking for what is the cost for Gremlin and all. They are asking the questions and all.
Yeah, right. So in our case, right, so that's where there's one more point I thought I will call it out. Uh, Generally, when you are working on Gremlin, you will have to register for a free trial. Okay, but in my case, in our course, I will be giving you is an enterprise edition of Gremlin. So I will add you to that Gremlin freely. Okay, so you can use it for a month or 45 days. Generally, I don't delete users. It will be there. Okay, I guess maybe Raja might be knowing. So it will be there, but still, if in case, right, like if I go above the user limit, I might reduce it from the bottom who came first, right? But minimum 1 month after the course also the user access will be there to the Gremlin Enterprise Edition. Okay, so you don't need to set up a free trial and all. I will be giving you the organization license for the
Okay.
hands-on and demo.
But what are the rough cost for this? Like for example, we have a license, we have a buy the license from 100 attacks, and this is for like attack based, right? Experiment based,
Correct.
right?
No,
For
target based.
example, our yes target, but our target is 100. Like what are the cost for that one actually?
Yeah, so see, as I said, there is no standard rule about it. It keeps changing based on the organization. And also, as I said, Gremlin is a new organization, right? So
Yes, sir.
they give a lot of good offers. Okay. So if your organization is very big, they might charge you less because they know that repeatability will be there. But if your organization is small, they will charge more. So, but it's what I can say is it is not that costly as maybe like other tools like LoadRunner and all. It's cheaper than that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone?
Vishnu, so
Yeah.
chaos engineering, how is it much different from negative testing and application?
It is lot of difference. Okay. So that's what we will be seeing next. So see, chaos engineering is more, let's say we are comparing it with some failover testing. What what are your perspectives? Like how do you think it might be different? I know you are totally new to chaos. It's an open question to all. Okay. Failover testing and chaos. What do you think might be the differences? So the main difference is in the objective. Okay, so that's the hint which I have, right? So you need to understand the objective. So performance, what's the objective? Load and stability, that's what we are testing, right? Failover, whether your system is able to withstand any failures or not. Similarly, chaos has a different objective. What do you think would be the objective? Anyone?
Like in the KVS, we are doing some experiments like in the like resource waves where CPU, memory, network, latency, like that we are doing, right?
Okay, so let me put this scenario in all of you. So in failover testing, okay, let's say my system fails. is my is it a successful or a it's a failure? My test is.
Vishnu, don't mind. You need to seriously adjust your mic. It's very problematic to hear you.
Oh,
Don't think otherwise.
is it for everyone?
Yeah, for me as well.
It it keeps
Okay, let
going
me.
up and
If
down here.
you think
Let's
it's
see.
hanging down and as you're speaking, you can just stick it around your mouth. Better. Don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, is it okay now?
Yeah, this is fine if it's consistent all the time. Yeah.
Okay. So see now, you got my question right, all of you. So if in my failover testing, if my test fails or like my system is not coming up or my system that failover mechanism didn't happen, right? And my application went down, right? So is it a failure or a success? Or like let's say my system came up after 5 minutes. What do you think? In failover, it's a fail or success?
Eh, no, it's a failover.
It's a
Yeah,
fail.
so it's a fail, right? Because see, in failover, what should happen? My system should act as if that failure didn't happen because it should fail over to some other cluster or some other machines. So that should happen. But here it's not happening. But in chaos engineering, same scenario is a pass. Now, why is it a pass in chaos engineering? Why do you think?
Because
Or
our goal is to do an failover testing,
Perfect
right?
that. Yeah.
Because
So
the
see,
other part is
you
run.
should understand that word which I said. The machine or the system came up after 5 minutes automatically. So it recovered properly after 5 minutes. So that 5 minutes is my SLA in chaos engineering, right? So for example, if there some failure happening or if something happens to my system, how fast the system can recover from that failure? And is it under my SLA? Like whether it's 2 minutes, my system will recover, or 5 minutes, it will recover. So it's more sort of like, let's say there is Amazon website, and there is one website where like it's more sort of a leave application, okay, in your organization. Amazon goes down for 10 minutes, okay, and leave application website goes down for 10 minutes. Which is a disaster?
Amazon.
Amazon, right? Because in 10 minutes, they might lose so many number of orders and so much dollars will be lost. But leave application, it's okay. 10 minutes, my employees can wait for the leave, right? So similarly, but that so in Amazon, the SLA might be 30 seconds for the recovery, right? But for the leave application, it might be 10 minutes, but that's my SLA. So in that specific time, that system has to recover. And that's what happens in chaos engineering. So you try to mainly focus on that recovery mechanism, or how fast my system is recovering from any failure or any problems or multiple other issues, and how my user experience is getting affected due to that failure. So in that, so see, now one is obviously in 5 minutes my system will come back or recover. Second problem is in that 5 minutes, right? What my user will experience. Will that be an issue? Like, or is it okay? We can ignore that 5 minutes or 10 minutes, what the user will face, the end user. Or should we address that also? Because that's a
We
big
should
problem.
address.
Yes, we should address that, right? So as a chaos engineer, even we can devise the recommendations, or we can, so that's the next stage of chaos engineering. Okay, initially you start with the recovery thing and all, then you go to the next stage where you give recommendations to when that failure happens, how user can be kept unaware of that problem. Okay, it's more sort of like, okay, my Amazon website is failing, so when that failure happens, quickly my user has to see some other screen, not some 500 error or 400 error screen, right? He has to see some other screen where he can play some game or watch some video, so that that user remains in my application itself. I don't lose the order, right? And so, and once the system is back, automatically my user is redirected to the page where he was ordering or whatever he was doing, right? So this such things you can implement. I mean, give recommendation, you cannot implement that, but you can provide recommendations based on that to improve the system. But anyways, that's the next step. Initially, you start with the recovery alone. So are you now getting the point, that main point, how chaos engineering is different from other testing? Anyone? Shraddha, so are you getting a close idea?
A little bit, Vishnu.
Yeah. So soon, see, as we delve deeper into it's just initial 30 minutes of our session. The course will run for around 20 plus hours, right? So you'll learn a lot in this process regarding chaos engineering and different systems, different experiments and all. So it will become more clearer, okay, as you progress. And to just show you uh, so the cluster, everything whatever we will be doing hands-on, right? The cluster setup and all we'll do on our system itself, in our local machine. So you don't need to have in you need don't need to spend on any cloud or anything. We will be setting it up, the Kubernetes cluster, everything on our system. And as I said, you will be provided with a Gremlin access also.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I have one
Yeah.
question. Actually, for
Hmm.
example,
Yeah.
when we are discussing with one of the clients, they said actually their DevOps side guys, they said actually we are fully automated everything on our like Kubernetes and all. Then why we are
Hmm.
using Gremlin? For example, their replication factors, they are giving the when the CPU threshold like for example
Hmm.
80 to 90, then automatically pod will up. They said like that actually.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
that time he's asking for why we are using a Gremlin. What are the
Yeah.
like?
Hmm. Yeah. So okay. So if I was there in that situation, I would have asked them a simple question. Okay, if the world was so ideal, we don't have testers. We won't need testers. Are you getting my point, Krishna?
Yes,
So
yes.
whatever they are doing or they are setting it up, if those things happen as they expected, okay, there won't be any testers in the domain itself. Any testing, okay, is it functional or let it be performance or any. So it doesn't work that way, right? That's why we have tested. And one more thing, chaos engineering is not about systems individually, it's about systems as a whole, right? Because when you develop
Yes.
something individually, things work very well. But when, okay, let's assume like this, okay, individually we all are very good people, but when we come in a group, is it like that? I mean, like,
Mm.
is it every like every time is it like a happy situation or like everyone is always productive? No, right? So things might go haywire, right? So that's where if you specifically speak about chaos engineering, the thing comes into picture, right? When things get integrated, when the systems are so complex, when the systems are so distributed in nature, configuration issues, problem with the architecture, problem with the setup, or problem with the deployment, many things come into picture when you dig deeper. So we don't wait for our user to find out the issue, right? Krishna, getting my point?
Yes, 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 Vishnu.
Yeah,
In our
right.
course, any experiments we are doing for code level, Vishnu?
Code level, won't be doing, because as I said, it's a no code sort of setup which we are doing, so that many who are not aware about coding and all. Like what we'll be doing is we'll try to understand different deployments, okay? Because that you will have to understand. If you're into chaos engineering, we need to understand how YAML files are written, how YAML, and that is very simple. It's not. It's a very straightforward language. We will try to learn. And how you can deploy, let's say, Gremlin or some tool through the YAML itself, right? So when you do that, little bit of YAML and deployment language you learn, but as I said, code level we won't be going that deep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? So the application what we have is actually, the architecture wise, it's built on Spring Boot. Okay. And it's a microservice based application. It's a demo application which it's already aware, like many people are using it for other purposes, especially for development and POCs and all. We'll be using that same application because we need a distributed system, right? So that's why we will be using that, a microservice based application. So in that process, you'll also learn what are microservices, what are services, how you configure those things and all in depth. And we will try to understand some network mesh and all, what's the importance of network mesh in Kubernetes. And yeah, so Yes. Any, any
Vishnu,
question?
is
What do you? Yeah.
UX engineering also possible on ServiceNow modules like ServiceNow? For example, an application is built on customer service management module of ServiceNow. So
Yeah, I
that
don't think so.
platform,
Yeah, I don't think so. If it's like it's not possible, it has to be possible. Only thing is you should have access to install the agent onto that server.
by agent you mean?
Okay, so see, when you are configuring Gremlin or a Chaos Mesh, generally these
Mm.
agents will be running in that cluster or wherever. So what you're using clearly, Vadivu? So can you just say like in service
It's
now? Hmm.
Yeah, it's not me, it's somebody else. Yeah, Vishnu.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I was
Shraddha?
able to,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't want to disturb. Yeah.
Yeah. Shraddha?
it's the ServiceNow,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of one of the modules, ServiceNow has several modules, right? Just to
Mm-hmm.
help. So one of the module like customer service is there, right, in ServiceNow. So on top of that, particular application is built with respect to requirements. The whole
Okay.
flow, workflow is being built and it is being executed. So it majorly acts like a issue logging system for
Mm-hmm.
customers. So
Yeah, you
my
can
worry
do that
is,
because I personally haven't worked on that, but I have heard people applying it. Okay, in ServiceNow. So only thing is you need to install Gremlin in ServiceNow. So Gremlin has an integration with ServiceNow. Okay,
okay,
so you just
okay.
need to integrate it with ServiceNow, and
Hmm.
that integration I think you will find it in the ServiceNow App Store. Okay, if I
Okay.
think I guess ServiceNow has App Store, right? So there you will find it, and in that then you can configure Gremlin just as usually we do for other things, right? The API key
Okay.
and secrets, team secrets, some configurations which we will learn in the course. That if you do, yes, then you are good to go.
Okay. What can I call Gremlin? Is it a software, a tool,
Yeah,
or
it's
a
it's a
platform?
SaaS, right? Software as a service tool,
It's a SaaS. Okay.
which is a chaos engineering tool. Yes, like LoadRunner we have, or maybe to make it more closer, like Storm Runner, right? For
So is
performance.
it as
Yeah.
easy as having Jmeter in your machine? I mean, it's that
Yes,
lightweight
yes,
or
it's very easy because you don't
okay,
install anything on your machine, right? It's online, right?
online.
It's not,
Okay.
so you just access the GUI after you set up the agent, like AppD and all, right?
Okay.
Yeah, AppDynamics, sorry. When I say AppD, yeah. So like
I got it.
AppDynamics, yes.
Mm. Okay,
So yeah,
fine. So I'll
so
just
this is how
find out the integration
the
point for it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Shraddha. So this is how the Gremlin dashboard will look like, where you create the experiments and all. And as I said, I will be giving you access to the this Gremlin. It's an enterprise license which I have, so you will have access to everything. What happens is generally when you apply for a free trial, you don't have access to everything. It's limited, but here you will get access to everything, and as I said, you will be able to do some whatever POCs or whatever you want, you can do it, okay, onto this. And as I said, it's just an agent, so even you do it for your project also, it won't be visible here. Like I meant, like you can Gremlin is just for running the experiments, analyzing it, but the details like what transaction, what is your system, and all those details you won't be seeing here much, right? So if you're applying it for your project also using this account, if but obviously you should take the proper like I meant like get the proper approvals, okay, before that you can do that also, okay, here. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah, Vishnu, what I was trying to understand is the tools you are talking like Gremlin or
Yeah, chaos
Chaos Mesh.
mesh. Hmm.
Is it these tools will try to create faults in the system, or it is like more of like try to find faults in the system, or
No, no, no.
how does
It
it
will
work?
inject, yeah, it will inject the failure into the system. So there are different types of failures, right? Like not only one. There are network failures, there are system failures, there are process failures. So different types of failures. So all those failures, this tool will help you to inject. You don't need to sit and
Okay,
code each of those failures and all.
okay, got you. So,
Yeah.
so with that we will be able to. So that That's something like on the YAML configuration file you were talking, right? So those things
No,
can
no,
be
that
injected
won't be
within
there.
that.
See, Gremlin is,
Mm-hmm.
as I said, we are doing two tools. One is Chaos Mesh and Gremlin, right? Chaos Mesh, little bit on the setup side, it might be little like the YAML and all, right? Little. Okay, that
Oh, okay.
also,
That's
once you
for tool
deploy, that is
setup.
done.
You
Yeah,
mean
tool
then
setup.
that's used for
Mm,
tool setup? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Then you will be
So it's
doing
more
everything
of
on the GUI.
configuration. So to inject those faults, we will be using more of like configuration files or
Yes, exactly. No, 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 not for injecting failure. You will be using the GUI, very direct ways. Okay,
features
you will
in the
see.
tools. Okay, on
Yeah,
the GUI,
correct.
we will use the
Yes,
features in the tools.
right. Yes.
Okay. 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 Got some idea.
Yeah, and yeah. So
So Vishnu,
yeah.
like I want
Priyanka.
to understand how it is different from performance testing. I mean, is this an advanced version of performance testing or is it something different? And when it comes into picture?
Yeah, so see, here we are not at all worried about users, right, Priyanka? Here we are not worried about load or stability or users. So it's totally different thing, not at all related to performance, but it's a non-functional testing, we can say, because we are not testing something functionally, but it's mainly related to infrastructure, right? So I don't know, like your question might be, you might got confused between perform. But what I said is, as a performance engineer, chaos engineering is easy to implement because you are already aware about non-functional. You are using a perf environment,
Non-functional.
which
So
is
it comes into
yeah,
non-functional, right?
yes,
Oh,
yes, exactly.
okay.
Yeah. And what I observed in the market is also who are into performance engineering, they are asked for performing chaos engineering. Okay, in the
Is
organizations.
performance a
Okay,
functional testing or non-functional?
it's a non-functional. Shraddha.
It is also non-functional, right?
Yes, that's why we have something called NFRs, right? Non-functional requirements.
Right.
So yeah, so these will come in that.
So, Vishnu, this scenarios covered in this chaos
Mhm.
engineering. So, will
Yeah.
you be taking through those in
Both.
demo session or in more detail into the sessions that you
Sorry,
will be
I
carrying?
lost you with some other noise. Can you repeat what you?
The
Sorry.
scenarios that
Hmm.
can be covered in chaos engineering. So,
Yeah.
is there anything high level you will cover in demo session?
Yeah. So I don't know what is high level and low level, but anyways, so we'll be covering most
If we
of
say
the things.
detailed level, right? Detailed
Yeah.
means you will be
Mm-hmm.
going into the scenario level talking,
Hmm.
or just
Yeah.
high level in the sense the topic wise. I
So
meant
what I
high
can
level
say is
means.
whatever experiments I'll be doing, right, you will be able to do in your project when you get into project.
Mhm.
Okay, so it won't be like some experiment which you won't be able to apply in your project. You will be able to apply that same scenario. Just pick it up and put it in your project. You will be able to do that.
Mhm.
Different scenarios. Okay.
Maybe I can put it this way: any list of scenarios you have
Hmm.
that you can,
Correct. I have it. Yeah. So we will be going through all those in a sequence, one by one.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the mean process, we'll also learn different things also, right? Like let's say there are something called different probes available, like the liveness probe, readiness, startup, and what are the significance of those? How you run experiments to identify problems in those probes or alerts or yeah, different things are right. So we will go one by one, right? We will start with the systems, then we will go to the probes, we will go to the alerting systems, and that way we'll progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to say that it's not only application systems, other systems also um,
Yeah,
that
we go.
will be
So
covered in.
basically, it's related to each and every, like it can be applied to any section of your infrastructure, right? Not only and also it's like more sort of like your configurations also will affect your chaos like I meant like your system's resilience.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Got you.
yeah.
So Vishnu, here we are failing the systems, right? So how we are doing that?
Using the tool, right? We are setting up the tool first, right? Onto the cluster or onto whichever project or application we want to test, right? And then we using the tool we are failing it. I mean, like we are injecting the failures.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where Gremlin and Chaos Mesh come into picture, right? For injecting those failures.
So Vishnu, this is this. I mean, which system
I didn't
should we be
understood
considering?
much.
Is it UAT or is it prod direct?
I got two questions. Can you
Yeah,
repeat?
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
for my earlier question, like, can you be more specific on that, like how we are injecting failures?
Yeah, so that we will be seeing tomorrow. Today is the day one, so I just wanted to give you an overview. Tomorrow we will get into Gremlin, okay, and we will see one experiment, very basic experiment, before we jump into the major ones. So because we don't have that much fundamentals in 2 days, right? So tomorrow we'll see a basic experiment how you perform a basic experiment in Gremlin. We will see that tomorrow, okay?
Sure, sure. That will
Yeah,
work. Thank you.
yes. Because if I start it today, we might not be able to finish it, okay? So yeah, Shraddha. Nagaraj, you had some question?
Yeah, Vishnu.
Yeah, Nagaraj, go ahead.
So in real world, should we be replicating all these attacks in the UAT or will implement all the setup in the prod
That also we
itself?
will see, okay? Yeah, that also we will see. Like
Okay.
how you choose the environment on because as I said,
Oh,
chaos engineering can be applied on multiple environments. It's not only restricted to one or two. But it's all based on the scenario which we run. Okay, so that we will
okay.
see how you do that. Yes. Because generally for chaos engineering, we don't have a separate environment. Nowadays, one environment is coming slowly, which is called pre-prod, okay, but
Yeah, yeah.
not everyone has it, okay, so generally so we adopt different methods for that.
Okay, okay. And one last question. So,
Yeah,
is there any possibility to have this all set up in this CI/CD, inject in the CI/CD? So we have a
yes,
CI/CD
that.
and we have Bamboo agent. So will we have a wrapper around the Bamboo agent, or will it be a separate? How?
No, you will have to so you have a pipeline, Nagaraj?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just need to create a stage, okay, and in that stage you need to run it. That's what we will see in our
मत और
session.
पूरा मुंह
Okay.
तक मत ओढ़ो बेटा
Okay.
सांस रुक जाएगी बेटा ना
Yeah, so to just give you a quick recap, um, so we'll be starting with planning. In this course, we'll be learning two tools, Gremlin and Chaos Mesh. We'll be trying to understand what's chaos engineering, how it is applied, how you apply it, even implementation strategies. Because general nowadays, everywhere, whenever you attend an interview, they won't be looking for a person who like they won't be hiring a person to a team where already chaos engineering is set up. So generally, what I have observed is chaos engineering will be set up by the person whom they're hiring, right? So that implementation, how you go ahead with it, how you perform the planning, experiments, and all those. So that we will see. Then we will see the setup also because that also is a place where you don't get help, right? Because these chaos engineering tools are respective to chaos engineers and no one will help you out in setting it up and all, so that we will see how to set it up and all. Then how you run the experiments through the tool inside Gremlin, inside Chaos Mesh, and what are different challenges you might face. So I will try to recreate some challenges, okay, like for example, if you make some mistakes in installing Gremlin or installing Chaos Mesh, what are the problems you will see, or what are the errors you will see, and how to fix it. Okay, so that we will see. Then we will go to the reporting section where we understand how you create the report. I'll give some templates and all, which I have created recently also, and which is there. So here also I have a drive. So generally what I do is I will update this drive. This will have all the materials whatever I will be covering, the commands, codes, even PPTs, which I will be going through modules one by one. So all these files will be shared to you. Even these will be useful to you in your journey also, because lot of commands which I use here, right, that will be you can reuse it, okay. So yes, so that I will be sharing with you all. Obviously Gremlin license I'll be adding you once we start the real sessions after the demo, and you will be able to use that for your POC and all. And Jenkins will be setting up a CI/CD pipeline, so you'll learn Jenkins. And infrastructure wise, once you finish this course, you'll be very comfortable with Kubernetes, Docker, containers, reading Kubernetes, going in depth into Kubernetes, different probes, liveness probes, and all different probes. different setups, right? What is required, because for chaos engineering you need to know the infrastructure little well, right? So that will help you for analyzing your test scenarios and all. So that also we will be learning in this course. Yeah. Yeah, Krishna.
Yeah, actually, this is for like all are installed in our like local, or is there any cloud like Azure or
Yeah, AWS cloud I'll be showing you what, like, because many will be new to AWS or any cloud. They might have not seen, right? So I'll be showing you
Azure?
how you do a basic setup on AWS and EC2 machine, and how you quickly spin up. But as I said, that you might not be able to do hands-on because you'll have to create an account in AWS, and some might be paid, right? So I
Yeah,
don't want
actually, if
you
we
want
need, we
to learn.
will
Yeah.
provide. We have in our organization, we have account is there.
Mm. Yeah.
Because why we are asking? Last time I seen that videos actually. You're installing
Hmm.
that in our mission. When we are
Yeah.
doing on the same like POC and our like Azure cluster, we are facing the issues with the Gremlin initialization. When we are
Okay.
following the
Hmm.
same steps,
Okay. Hmm.
so a lot of issues we are facing. Because your agent is like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
installed.
That is true,
We
because
will.
once you change the environment, see, it's not only the environment, you might be changing a lot of accesses also that you need to see, right? See, whenever we are running some or installing something, there are a lot of, especially when you are in your organization, the role level access will be there, right? The IAM, right? So if anything is also not like, obviously you will not get an admin access, right? You will not get it.
No,
You
no,
will
no,
have
no. We
to
have
solve it
no.
through that.
Actually,
Yeah.
sorry. We have admin access is there. Actually, we are
Hmm.
installing everything like Shop application. Then
Hmm.
we are installing
So that is also not
like
admin, right, Krishna? See,
yeah.
admin actually can even create a namespace, okay, and also, so you should have that level of access also there, right?
Yes, yes. We are there.
So
They are
currently,
simply adding.
what you might be doing is, I don't know, maybe you will have a namespace, you will have access to that namespace. Generally, that's what happens in organization, but maybe your organization is giving higher level access. Maybe, I don't know.
Actually, we have installed Shop application like Kuber.
Hmm.
We are installing for Prometheus to
Hmm.
Grafana. Everything is
Yeah.
working.
Hmm.
We are installing the Gremlin also.
Okay.
When we are doing we are waiting on the
Hmm.
Gremlin it, we are facing
Hmm.
the issue with the agent connection actually. For
Hmm.
example, when we install that time, like showing the
Yeah.
Kubernetes and like pods, right? How many pods are
Hmm.
running? Then only it's
Hmm.
working, right? We are facing
Hmm.
the problem actually.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Anyways, I will have to see it why you are facing, because what's your system and all, not aware, right? So, but it's actually what I will say is that part. If you would have said that you faced issue in deploying sock shop and all, I would have thought, okay, the problem is little critical. But if Gremlin init you are facing issue, then the problem, I don't think it will be very big, because that's a very, I can say, a trivial problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we
Mm,
are installing everything we are
mm,
following only the Gremlin installing only 3 to 4 steps, right, Vishnu? We are
okay.
following that actually,
Mhm.
but we don't
So
know
are you
which.
passing the secret key properly?
Yes, everything in the is showing an agent also. It's showing whatever we are running on the
Okay.
AKS cluster. It's showing agent,
Mm,
but we are
mm,
going to the experiments in the in the how many pods are running on Kubernetes. We are
mm,
not able to do that actually.
yeah. So yeah, basically, I also cannot comment unless I don't see the system, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
the same when we are
you can send
installing
me
the
some
Minikube
screenshots,
in
some
our.
errors, what you're
Yeah.
seeing, some screenshots.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can give you some idea how you can debug.
Yeah. 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 Sure. Vishnu.
Yeah.
When we are
Vishnu,
reinstalling them,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Arti.
Yeah. Suppose there is a web application having multiple subsystems, let's say downstreams and upstream. So, are we going to learn the methods how to choose the appropriate downstream or the upstream? And like there are different types of attacks which Gremlin
Hmm.
provides. So which attack is appropriate for our application? So these are
Yes,
like
yes. So
best
that is true.
practices.
Yeah. So that we will be seeing, and also I have created a table which I got time recently. So what I have done is, like, I have created a table which I'll share with you all, with the type of system and the attacks what you can do on the system. Okay. So that will be helpful for you, like a checklist that I'll be providing to you all. Yeah.
Because currently I'm having that application
Mhm.
having multiple upstream, downstreams, and like so
Yeah.
many attacks, and
Even
I'm
in the
confused.
planning stage, like when we are learning planning and all, we will be seeing how to choose like the attacks, and based on what systems you need to attack first, what system you need to attack later, how to choose those, all those things. Yes, we'll be seeing.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So how much we will be discussing on Grafana and Prometheus, Vishnu?
Like we'll be only
Let me
monitoring. Okay,
introduce myself.
we'll learn how to set it up and all. Obviously, we'll see Prometheus and Grafana, but mainly we'll be not delving deep into Prometheus Grafana. We'll be using it to monitor our experiments. So how much is required for that? That we'll do.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Because again, we have time limitations also, because it's just
Let me
22 hours,
introduce
right?
myself, friend.
So we
My
have
name is
to, the
Roshan.
main thing what we
I'm
are here
with
to learn is
Isha.
chaos engineering. So we'll be delving deep into those topics, which so whatever basics or fundamentals you need for chaos engineering, we'll spend more time, right? Others will be like more sort of, you, it's a prerequisite which you need to know, right? So that we will touch upon. Yeah.
Which is a storage
Any other
service.
questions, anyone?
And we all
So
learned
will it be 1 hour
what is
per
the
day,
use
right?
case of storage
Yes, it
services
will be
and
1 hour per
various
day and same
options
timings.
that AWS provides. We have EBS, EFS, S3. We discussed in
Yeah,
detail
okay, then I
about
guess
each
no
one
more
of them.
questions. I'm not continuing for today. It's almost
So that
9:55.
so
So
in
tomorrow
the
we will,
cloud, what all
what
we
we
have
will do is
discussed
we'll
so
set
far,
up a
we have
basic
discussed
experiment
about
using
IAM,
templates,
we have discussed
and
about billing
we'll see how
service,
you connect the
we
agents and
have
all on
discussed
basic
about
system,
EC2,
and we'll run a
we have
small
discussed
experiment
in
on that.
detail about VPC, we
So,
have
and also
discussed
we'll see some
about
few more
storage
topics from
services.
chaos engineering in tomorrow's session. Yeah, thank you
We
all
are
for
going to discuss
joining,
about
and
load
have a good
balancing
day
today.
and good night.
And auto scaling
See you all
group
tomorrow.
will
Thank you.
be the
Thank you,
next two
sir.
topics.
Thank you.
So what is a load
Thank you.